Welcome to the Record Machine Show, a podcast featuring interviews from indie and renowned artists from all genres of music. Now, here's your host, James Michael Hollenstein.
Welcome to the Record Machine Show. I'm your host, James Michael Hollenstein. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a talented singer-songwriter whose music blends heartfelt emotion with thoughtful songwriting and a sound that moves effortlessly between folk, Americana, rock, pop, and alternative. My guest today is Bernice Marsala, a Nashville-based artist originally from the greater Chicago area. Bernice is known for her powerful voice, poetic lyrics, and memorable melodies that stay with you long after the song ends. Her musical style is incredibly versatile, moving from intimate acoustic storytelling to strong, expressive rock arrangements. She studied guitar and audio production at Elmhurst University, graduating Magna Cum Laude with a degree in music business, and has been writing songs for most of her life. Since releasing her recordings in 2020, Bernice has built an impressive catalog of music that continues to resonate with listeners. Her work has earned her recognition from organizations such as the International Singer-Songwriters Association, the Affinity Music and Film Awards, the World Songwriting Awards, and the Josie Music Awards. Most recently, she was named Best Female Artist of 2025 by Indie Boulevard magazine, and her song Architecture even earned her a place on the Grammy ballot in 2 categories. Today we'll talk about her journey in music, her songwriting process, and the stories behind some of her songs, including Architecture and Music Box. So let's kick things off the way we always do here on the show. Let's put the needle to the record and listen to Architecture by Bernice Marsala.
I thought I followed the blueprint, I did everything right. Not the smallest clue or hint, I've never wavered in my life. But I'm starting to see the cracks forming from the inside. And no amount of repair will make them easy to hide. Brick by brick I built you up at the expense of it all. And I look on feeling helpless as you tore down my walls. Now I'm watching every last piece of me crumble and fall. This architecture wasn't made to carry it all. I'm feeling beaten down by your rival I can't see. And my once solid foundation is rotting underneath. But I won't lie down and surrender, and I won't accept defeat. I'll push forward till I win or it destroys me. Brick by brick I built you up at the expense of it all. And I look on feeling helpless as you tore down my walls. Now I'm watching every last piece of me crumble and fall. This architecture wasn't made to carry it all. There's a pressure on my shoulders, but not even landless can lift. And there's a heaviness in my chest, 'cause I've given all I can give. Oh,
just heard Architecture by Bernice Marsala, and I have her on the line for a chat. Bernice, welcome to the show. Let's start from the beginning. Where did you grow up and where are you based now?
So I grew up in Sycamore, Illinois, so a couple hours west of Chicago. And now I'm based in the Nashville area.
Very cool. How long have you been living there?
I think this is going to be 5 years. So long time.
Music scene's a lot different there than it is in Illinois, I bet, huh?
Very much so, yeah.
What is there any music scene in Illinois or not really?
Not so much where I'm from. I mean, once in a while there were some open mic nights at some places. There were that was pretty much it. I remember doing like a couple standalone gigs, but there wasn't a regular weekly thing or standard gigs that you could get everywhere like you can in the Nashville area. Like it feels like everywhere here there's somewhere that you can go and play somewhere or find live music.
Yeah, where's your favorite place to play in Nashville?
So I actually don't perform live, actually, since we've been here, which is kind of crazy, but I do have kids. So okay. I've kind of just been focusing on the writing and recording aspect.
Right. When did music first become a serious part of your life? And what led you to start writing and recording your own songs?
It's kind of always been a serious part of my life. I mean, I always knew I wanted to do something with music. Whatever capacity that was going to be in. So I did start out as a performer. And, once I kind of went through school, my original major was commercial music, which was very performance based. I decided that kind of wasn't really where my heart was. So I moved into audio production. And the reason I focused on that was because I couldn't really find a producer that was reliable. And I had been dying to record my songs because I've been writing songs forever. So I had been dying to, record and release some stuff. But at the time, I couldn't really find a producer or an engineer to work with who was reliable. There were a lot of flaky people. Sometimes, we would start a project and then something would need tweaking and that just never happened. And so it was hard to find somebody who was taking it as seriously as I was. So I was like, I'm just going to do this myself. So I started learning how to do that. And I ended up not minoring in it, but I got far enough along that I got a couple certificates in it. And then eventually I decided this was a little too tedious. I didn't mind doing it for myself, but I didn't want to do it for others. And that was kind of, where the degree was leading, was that was going to be like my job. So I ended up switching to music business, and that ended up being what I got my bachelor's in. So.
Very cool. Who were some of the artists or musical influences that helped shape your sound and songwriting style, would you say?
I always say the Carpenters and Jim Croce as like early influences.
Nice.
My early music is very folk, singer-songwriter type acoustic stuff. And my first album is very acoustic. So I would definitely say Jim Croce for like the guitar aspect of it and getting into, finger picking and all of that stuff. And then Karen Carpenter is kind of how I found my voice, like as an alto, just because she's got that, deep resonant voice. And so I would sing along to that as a little kid. And as far as later influences, I'm really into rock. So I would say Shinedown is definitely an influence because I've just always loved their lyricism. And then I think in some ways Three Doors Down a little bit has influenced me. And they were never one that I mentioned when people would ask me who my influences are. But, unfortunately, the singer passed away recently. And so I deep dived back into that catalog. And I was listening to, what my favorite albums were at the time that they came out. And I'm like, this kind of influenced me because I'm hearing like similarities in writing style. So, yeah.
Yeah, Brad was a great singer, right? What do you think about Jim Croce's son, AJ? Have you ever seen him live?
I haven't seen him, no.
Yeah, he sounds just like his old man.
Does he? I'm going to have to look that up. Does he play his old stuff?
Yeah, he plays his stuff and he plays his own stuff. But yeah,
I'm going to have to look him up. I don't even think I heard of him.
Yeah, AJ Croce. He plays all over the place. I think that's what he does full time. He's pretty good. I think he's done shows in Nashville a lot too. So.
Oh, yeah. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You mentioned earlier about your audio production. You studied guitar and audio production at Elmhurst University, and you graduated Magna Cum Laude in music business. How did that education help prepare you for the music industry?
I think the copyright portion of music business and just learning like what all the different angles are in the industry, because there's so many. I mean, I think when you study music at like a basic level, you know about education and you know about performing, and that's really all most people will even tell you about. But there are so many other moving parts to it that I got to learn about, doing that education. And then I think the copyright portion of it was really important, because I can't imagine learning that on the fly, because it's so complicated. And that's what I do now as like my full-time job, as I work in copyright and music publishing. Mm-hmm. And just having that foundation, I think, was really helpful for kickstarting and to where I felt like I knew a little bit of what I'm doing, but like I'm still constantly learning stuff.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of scams too you got to look out for in the music business, right?
Right. Well, and even just like looking at contracts, like I'm pretty meticulous about if somebody hands me a contract, I know I need to like look this through. But at the same time, I'm also not like a lawyer, so I'm not great with the legal jargon and everything. So I'm like, I recognize some things from contracts that I have to do for work, but then I would still never sign anything without having somebody who knows more than me look at it. And,
got to start hanging out with a lawyer.
Yeah.
Your music blends several genres like folk, Americana, rock, pop, and even alternative. How would you describe your sound to someone who's hearing your music for the first time?
I guess it depends on what part of the discography they start with. I guess if they start at the beginning, I'll say, we go from acoustic to gothic dark rock.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it turns into a mix, but there's definitely an evolution. I think if you start from the beginning and then you go to where I'm at now, like I think you can feel the transition makes a little more sense than if you start where I'm at now and go backwards. That's not going to make any sense. So.
Yeah, you definitely can hear a mix of the genres if you go through your whole catalog. Let's talk about the song Architecture. It even earned a place on the Grammy ballot in 2 categories. What's the story behind that song and how did it come together? So
that song is about, when you get hit with like problem after problem and like things just kind of start piling up and you're just trying to kind of hold it all together. So I liked the idea of the image of like the crumbling house, the crumbling structure, and just trying to kind of hold things together. And the way that came about, I think that was one where the lyrics actually came to me first, and then I started building the guitar on top of that. And it started very much as a ballad, which if you listen through my whole discography, ballads are sort of my specialty. It's something I do a lot of that just kind of comes out. And so that one I started, on the classical guitar and, came up with, the main little finger picking section. And as I was recording it, I was like, it would be really cool if we just really exploded somewhere at the end with like, added some electric guitars and stuff like that. So I kind of what I like to do when I'm writing a guitar part is I like to just put the section that I want that in on a loop. And then I just kind of like play over and over again until like I do something that I like. So I did that with all of those guitar parts. So the electric guitar, I think there were 3 or 4 electric guitar parts total by the end. So
nice. How many instruments do you play?
Pretty much just guitar. I dabble in keyboard because when I'm programming like a plugin, that's my MIDI instrument. But I wouldn't call myself like a keyboard player.
Okay. It's like basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So my main instrument's guitar.
Nice. You also have a song called Music Box. Can you tell us about the inspiration behind that track and what listeners might take away from it?
Yeah. So I think the takeaway for that song in general is it's kind of about like living on autopilot and, when you've lost a sense of self and you're not really recognizing the person in the mirror. Specifically, what inspired that for me is postpartum depression. So I have 2 kids and my baby actually just turned 1 this past weekend.
Oh, congratulations. Happy birthday.
So, that's something that I experienced it with both kids, but I was really like deep in it at the time that I, wrote that song. So that was kind of my inspiration behind that. And plus it's not really something that, at least I don't know of any songs that are about that. So
yeah, and that's a very common thing, right? Women go through that all the time. I guess it's great that you wrote a song about it because it probably resonates with a lot of women, right?
Yeah, I mean, I sent it to my mom friends right when it came out. And I was like, let me know what you guys think of this, if it sounds accurate or anything. So, that was the response I got, was that it was pretty close to their experience as well. And I know obviously everybody doesn't experience it, but it is very common, and it's not something that you get prepared for or that people really talk to you about, beforehand. So yeah, it felt good to, put it down in music. Yeah,
it's like therapy, right? You're writing out your thoughts and then you sharing it with the world. And like I said, it probably resonated with a lot of women.
I hope so.
You've released 2 albums, an EP, and several singles so far. When you look back at your catalog, how do you feel your songwriting and sound have evolved?
I think lyrically I've evolved a lot. As far as, I think it's hard to describe. I think my lyrics have gotten a little more poetic, I guess I would say. Like they're, I'm not so much just telling a story. I try to put imagery in a lot of songs whenever I can, because I feel like those seem to be the ones that resonate with people a little more. So I try to find a theme if I can. And then I try to use, different metaphors. So I think I've evolved in that way. Musically, I think too, just like being able to expand, and having that audio production background and being able to kind of expand and go beyond just me and the guitar. Because my first album is very much based around me and the guitar, because those were songs I used to perform. And then, I just kind of like built little productions around them. But, the guitar is very much the focus. So, I mean, the ones I've done further on, like especially Lights Out has very little guitar in it. And that was one that I mostly wrote with plugins on the keyboard. But now also I'm fortunate to have found a producer who takes it as seriously as I do. And he and I just have very good musical chemistry in that he kind of sees my vision for things. And he's also just a much better producer than me. So he really elevates the songs on top of just the writing being evolved. I think the productions have evolved because of being able to work with him as well.
You've received recognition from several organizations, including the International Singer-Songwriters Association and the World Songwriting Awards. What do acknowledgments like that mean to you as an independent artist?
It's just validating to, it kind of makes me feel like I'm, doing what I'm supposed to do. To get that recognition from, people who have been in it so much longer than me and have so much more experience, to be like, you're doing a good job. It just feels like a pat on the back. So yeah, it means a lot.
Now, were you at the ISSA Awards in 2025?
I was not there last year because I had my baby and he wasn't ready for me to leave. So.
Yeah. Are you going this year?
I'd like to go this year. That's my plan.
What about the Josies? You part of that?
Yeah, I did. I have gone to the Josies, I think, every year since 2023. So I hopefully, if I get nominated, hopefully I'll be attending that as well this year.
Yeah, they moved it up earlier this year, though. It's in September.
They did. Yeah, I'm actually really glad about that, because October is always a really wild month, because it's, our wedding anniversary, my daughter's birthday, and then we would have the Josies and like too many events. So I'm kind of happy they moved it up this year.
Yeah, I think it's like 3 weeks after like ISSA or something like that, right?
Yeah, and it's also close to the Infinity Music and Film Awards, which like last year was their first year. And this year, I think they're maybe a week apart from the Josies. I would have to look at the calendar again, but they're very close together.
Wow, cool. You and your family made the move to Nashville. Now, I know you mentioned earlier you haven't played out anywhere, but what's it been like being part of that music community?
Well, the funny thing is, as long as we've been here, most of my community has been online, so with ISSA, with, I guess the only in-person interactions I really have here are with people from the Josies. I did recently join Nashville Songwriters Association, NSAI. So I'm hoping to, connect with more people through that platform. But yeah, it's been mostly online interactions for the most part.
Do you plan on branching out and doing shows in the future, maybe? Like maybe once your kids get a little older?
I never say never. I feel like at this point, because of how my productions have evolved, I do feel like it would have to be a full band setting to be able to kind of do, because I'm someone where I'm very picky about live shows. Personally, I like live shows to be as close to the recording as possible, because the recording is what I listen to. It's what I like. And so when I see a live show, that's kind of the version I want to hear. So that's what I would want to present as close to as possible. And I feel like, now I have some songs that maybe like Lights Out, for example, I don't think would work real great acoustically. It could be done. It's not going to be as exciting as the recording. So I just feel like there are some songs that I feel like would have to be a full band setting to kind of do the recordings justice. I could do something as an acoustic show, but I don't know. I would need to put a band together. That would make me feel more comfortable about it at this point.
Cool. For the listeners who are discovering your music today, where can they find you online? You have a website, streaming platforms, or social media you'd like to share?
So my website is bernicemarsala.com. I'm also on Bandcamp. So those are two places where you can, find all my stuff and download it and find out information about me. I am on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok my handles at Bernice Marsala. I'm on Facebook as Bernice Marsala Music, and I'm also on Threads, and I'm on all the streaming platforms.
Cool. Before we wrap things up, is there anything coming up, new music, any projects or announcements that you'd like to mention before we go?
I don't have any release dates set in stone yet, but I am working on new music. I'm hoping on maybe 1 or 2 singles before the end of the year. And I am working towards my 3rd album, which I'm hoping to release early next year.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Bernice, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Maybe I'll see you at the ISSA Awards this year. If I get to the finals, I'll be there. So that'll be cool. Be nice to meet you in person.
Absolutely.
And when that new music comes out, you're more than welcome to come back on the show, all right?
I'd love to. Thank you.
All right. You take care, all right?
Thanks. You too.
All right, bye-bye. Bernice, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you for taking the time to share your story and your music with us. Artists like Bernice Marsala remind us why songwriting continues to be such a powerful form of expression, blending emotion, storytelling, and melody in ways that connect with listeners everywhere. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to check out Bernice's music on your favorite streaming platforms and follow her online to stay up to date with her latest releases and upcoming projects. And to close things out today, we're going to leave you with another great song from Bernice Marsala. This one's called Music Box. I'm James Michael Hollenstein, and this has been The Record Machine Show. Until next time, keep those records spinning.
Doesn't mean that you walked away. Your mind is elsewhere, but your body stayed. I have to keep reminding myself I'm alive, 'cause I'm on the inside looking out while someone else tries. Oh, I'll try anything to be whole, but except the things I can't control. I'm not really here. These hands don't feel like mine. Always ache inside, but pretend to be fine. Breaking doesn't mean that you can't be fixed, but I can't be expected to get over it so quick. If I have to keep floating on the surface, then I'm gonna need more than to be polished and repurposed. Oh, I'll try anything to be whole, to
The Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Hall Productions. All rights reserved. For distribution information or to add this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.